of Dungeon Souls. I'm mostly doing this to help test my new settings for OBS because I've been having some problems. I set things a little too high, and I wanted to see how the stream quality looked when I was all said and done. So here we go. I'm playing as a warrior this time, which is a class that I have, of course, not played since I've only done one of these prior. I'm a little... I find the melee class is a little more difficult in this game. A lot of things have range, and a lot of other things just punish you for being close, so it feels a tad foolish. One of the big benefits, of course, being that, you know, you get a decent knockback. His arc on this particular character is quite wide, his damage is good, and he has some defense. And on top of all that, you can dismiss enemy projectiles by swinging at them. So, all those things together, plus the fact, let me see, I do want that though. Plus the fact that you can move forward when you swing as opposed to be knocked away, which happens with all the range characters. You always get knocked back a little bit from firing a projectile. And there we go. I am going to increase damage. Grab the beer, because that's actually pretty good for a white. Common item. Anyways, there's been some visual updates as well, which was super nice. I actually found a couple bugs and reported them to the developer, and he actually just introduced a hot patch, which I installed right before playing. So I figured I would do him the thank you of posting another Let's Play video. Alright, so nothing too difficult this first level, except for these guys. They're kind of a pain in the ass. Especially because they do not actually die to the multi-cleave. Everything else has been polite enough to die upon hit. There we go. Extra potion. And I don't have any keys, so it's time to get the hell out of here. See what we got. Potion of Risk. Yay, bonus damage. Excellent. Okay. There we go. Anyways, the melee classes are also a little difficult when it comes to the bosses, because I think they all universally have some sort of ranged attack. And even though the warrior does a decent job of swinging at a pretty good pace, unlike, say, the barbarian, I still find it a little difficult to deal with projectiles and damage the boss, because sometimes you get knocked back by the projectiles, and that's a pain. There we go. I was happy to see that there were a bunch of visual updates as well, so when I got home from work I rushed in to play some of this before I had to do some of the other things of my evening. And Redeemer's going to come, but I want to see if there's anything worthwhile in the shop. The answer looks like it's going to be no. Better to save up. And I'm out. Now for the moment of truth. Whoa. This actually is not going so bad as I thought it would. Keeping just the right distance from him, which is pretty much precisely the maximum distance from him. Seems to be working out. I believe this boss ended up getting burning damage over time if you end up getting too close to him. Might be my imagination. Oh. Sword of Ice, that's pretty good. And a golden key, which is excellent. I'm actually a big fan of the Rusty Sword. 2% bleed may not seem like much, but considering how much you swing over the course of an entire run, it ends up being a bit more significant than you'd expect. Plus on the champion monsters, that's when it really shines through, and just that small chance to get that big benefit can make it work out. They always remind me of the rats in Nuclear Throne because they look so similar to those rats. Oh, speaking of Nuclear Throne, I saw a post from I think it was Raimi, where he posted one of the return comments from someone who had bought Nuclear Throne, and it said something along the lines of, "My friend said this was the best game ever. And it wasn't." And he's like, "My heart is breaking." Now, I don't know him real well. I suspect as a developer being, in love with his own game, that he probably was having his heart break, and that's such a hard thing to have sort of witnessed there. I was like, oh man, I feel for that kid. And of course, your mind just sort of like fills in all the blanks, like, oh, he only had the $15 to spend. That's interesting. These are the same item, but they're in different orientations. Well, I'm not taking either of those. I mean, screw that shit. Yeah, as my damage has gone up and points have gone into cleave, it started to get a hell of a lot better. And I think my plan in terms of skill build is going to be to make sure that I split my skills between shit. Actually, you know what? I want that potion of rage for the boss. I'm going to try to split my skills between my melee attack and cleave. Now, if I end up picking up a ton of magic items, and I don't think that I have. Yeah, my magic is like 1, 2, 3. Do that for a little extra speed. Then I would end up going with what is this? Mega Swords. But considering it does like 90% magic damage, I'm not going to be investing the points into that. Sorry. I think that the skills were kind of designed like that, so that if you ended up being on a run where you had a whole bunch of magic through no fault of your own, then you would be okay. But it's just a little strange that it does it for this class, but it's not the case for the archer class, and I just don't know what to make of it. It was also really funny. One of the items in this game is called goat horns, and with goat horns, it says, bust all the boulders or something like that. And I only recently realized that meant that once you had it, you can swing a melee attack and actually destroy boulders. Yeah. I feel like it probably does something else, has some other secondary effect, but I don't know what that is. It just feels like it's a green item, so I feel like it must convey, I don't know, some damage or something along with it. But I haven't been able to figure it out yet. Wow, this is definitely going along much better now. Now, I'm not sure if the Redeemer always starts in the upper left-hand corner, but I'm going to assume he does so that I can check out this shop. Oh, I have a silver key and I hadn't realized that. I don't think I needed that. I don't know that accuracy actually does anything for melee classes. I mean, obviously I'm hitting things, so I don't know what to make of it. Whoa! Redeemer has gotten more aggressive, I see. one of the things actually worth noting is that while you're activating Cleave, you can still activate your melee attack. So I can go like this, and yeah. Wow, I am really wrecking this guy. Okay. Extra points. Extra points. Okay, on to the next level. It's funny sometimes, when I first started playing this, like, I had no idea what could and couldn't kill me, and I was actually really cautious about... How much did that cost? Too much. I was really cautious about, like, you know, how fast I would go. I was very cautious going into a new room, very cautious activating summoning circles, and, like, now it feels like I speedrun everything, because I don't have that same instinct for caution anymore, because I kind of know what things do for the most part. I'm kind of hoping that I will get access to Fey Gardens, because I'm not sure whether or not the new boss was introduced, or whether the designer just put up the artwork for that boss. And I know that the Ice Queen is like a placeholder boss in the meantime. So, that was awkward. No option to loot on this floor. Huh, that's weird. I still have a potion of rage and a potion of Alright, I don't want anything from the shop, I remember that. Screw freaking Yeti. I don't want your slow. I guess they're determined to give that to me. How much does this key cost? That's a lot of money, but it's also 3 items, so it's like 300 apiece. Footfinger is definitely good. Wizard's cooldown feels pretty good, because this has a somewhat long... Oh, whoa, I'm not doing any damage to him. Periodically just don't do damage, that's weird. Maybe he has like a temporary shield that can absorb like a hit or two. I like how Footfinger kind of took me like right through the slug. Kind of breezing right through this. I feel like I'm doing an even faster job than I do with some of the range classes. That's really strange. Maybe I'm just having a particularly good run. You're going down, buddy. I don't like you, and I do not want you to exist. There we go. Not doing too bad. Definitely out-tanking all the enemies so far, but that's kind of par for the course with the Nightblade, now the Destroyer, because I got him upgraded. So I kind of assumed that the Warrior is going to go in a similar path, where I'm just going to mostly get sufficient physical defense, and I'm kind of barrel through a lot of the enemies, and then it's going to be resistance that I'm going to want for the final boss, because I think all of his damage is magical. I kind of wish I had Magnet, just so I didn't have to go wandering around. Nuts. Alright, I'm getting out of here. I don't want to deal with slow anymore. all those rapid shots. I was genuinely expecting to be hit. That time I got hit. Just remind me she can get through there anytime she wants. I'll bring that up. Might regret it, might not. Gain 3 stat points. That seems like it's gonna be stupid powerful for this particular character. Woodfinger. Wait, I'm sorry, how much is the buckler up to? Yeah, just 20%, okay. What do we got here? Magic stick. Eh. Certainly not enough to warrant Mega Swords. 90% of like 6 damage is 0. Basically. Wow. And with most of the characters I play, these flies tend to take a lot more than that to go down. All done. Wow. I think I had 2 quick succession detonates there, and that just basically devastated the entire selection of enemies. That was strange. I need to be more cautious about timing those cleaves and make sure everything is spawned before I do, because some of them are clearly not getting hit, and I think that's my fault. I'm done sacrificing maximum hit points. It was funny because I was like, oh, I'm going to do this all day long. And then as soon as I actually did it and saw how many hit points I was left with, I was like, yeah, I think I'll take it I think I'll cool it a little bit. Push that up out of the way. Sometimes the item will get a little close to the shop for comfort, and then as a result you'll end up like paying for a shop item on top of just picking up whatever your item was. So best to try to avoid that entirely. Moving along at quite brisk pace. That's good. I'm confused that those guys keep showing up and dying so quickly. If they are at the stats like the very first level where they first showed up. And if they do, why? Who knows? Talk about that bad timing.